Let's look at a timeline of how the ICE raids have sparked these LA protests. Tensions are escalating in Los Angeles after protests against immigration and customs enforcements have gripped the city as protesters clashed with law enforcement, blocking roads, vandalizing, and setting cars on fire. President Donald Trump deployed National Guard troops despite California Governor Gavin Newsom's objections. You have violent people, and we're not going to let them get away with it, he says. Here's what we know so far about the chaos unraveling. On June 6th, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents were carrying out a series of immigration sweeps across Southern California. Reports of federal agents running after people in a parking lot of a Home Depot in Westlake started circulating around 3 p.m. local time. A crowd of dozens gathered in the Fashion District near downtown Los Angeles after ICE agents appeared at an apparel manufacturer. Their video shows what appears to be ICE agents loading at least 2 white unmarked vehicles with people in handcuffs and crowds gathered around the vehicles. Some are seen even standing in front, trying to stop the vehicles from going any further. Later in the afternoon, hundreds of protesters gathered outside of Los Angeles, the federal building, calling for an end to immigration raids in the city. Footage here shows protesters vandalizing the building and heckling law enforcement. Police with riot gear were seen confronting the protesters with batons and what appears to be tear gas rifles. The Los Angeles Police Department posts on X saying there is an unlawful assembly in the area of Aliso Street and in others, and to leave that area. Then the next day at 10:15 a.m., the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department responded to reports of a large crowd gathering in Paramount, a small city about 20 miles south of downtown LA, and false rumors of immigration agents planning a raid on a Home Depot in that area. Officers warned the protesters to disperse as intensity grew over another protest. Then another protest occurs in Compton, with some protesters starting a series of vandalizations, including setting a car on fire at 6 p.m. Donald Trump signed a memo ordering 2,000 National Guard troops to LA protesters to the scene there, where they're seen throwing rocks, glass bottles, and fireworks at the officers. Officers fired flashbang grenades and less lethal projectiles. Members of the California National Guard arrived in downtown LA shortly before 4 a.m. on June 8th. The deployment is the first time in decades that the state's National Guard has been activated without the request of a governor. 22 Democratic governors called Trump's deployment of the National Guard in California, quote, an alarming abuse of power. Protesters started marching, holding signs that read, "Fight Trump." The LAPD went on, quote, tactical alert, and the use of less lethal munitions has been authorized by the police. With the LAPD and the National Guard present on the scene, protesters walked on and halted traffic on a portion of the 101 freeway. Officials say that 2 LAPD officers were injured by motorcyclists attempting to breach a skirmish. Multiple police vehicles were seen damaged with shattered windows. And what we're seeing in LA is chaos caused by the administration. People should clearly exercise their right to protest. That's their First Amendment right. But people should also do this peacefully. We do not want to play into the administrative's hands, she says, and we're sick of Trump. We're sick of everything. America's really scary right now, she says. I can't keep sitting by watching my brothers and sisters getting taken. We are no different from you, President Trump, she's said to him. President Trump has deployed 4,000 total National Guardsmen and 700 Marines now at this point to Los Angeles to support law enforcement. California Governor Newsom and California Attorney General Bonta have announced the state is suing the Trump administration, saying they unlawfully, quote, trampled over California's sovereignty, which has now been overruled by a judge in that area. So Trump is free to go forward with that. And now, just real quick, I also want to share this is getting a bit out of hand, if you ask me. Benny Johnson has a new video showing that the lady that now is the heiress to Walmart is actually funding these rioters. We've had reports today that they were provided with gas masks, among other items, if you will. And of course, we know that, someone has been supplying them with bricks and different things to create these Molotov cocktails and such. And apparently Benny here has some evidence to show that claims that the Walmart heiress, who is clearly anti-Trump, is actually behind the funding of these LA riots. So we're going to take a listen now.
Is wild. A mysterious black truck just passed out all of these expensive bionic face shields to protesters in LA, and the news caught it on camera. I zoomed in and found out this is the UVEX bionic shield. These are not cheap. They're around $45 to $65, and you can't just get them in bulk. But one place that sells them is Walmart. And why is that important? Because there's a new protest being promoted called No Kings on June 14th. And even celebrities like Chrissy Teigen are posting it. And it's in magazines and newspapers. And guess who's behind this message? Christy Walton. That's right, one of the billionaire heiresses, a part of the Walmart family. Now, I don't know why they would be behind that protest against President Trump, but remember, just less than 3 weeks ago, President Trump tweeted about the whole tariff situation, saying Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices throughout the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars of last year, far more than expected. Between Walmart and China, they should, as is said, eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything. I'll be watching, and so will your customers. So, is it possible that maybe the Walmart family didn't like that and now they're finding ways to make their voices heard? Or is this just a big coincidence? As always, let me know what you think about all of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, people like Carrie Lake saying, do you shop at Walmart? Maybe you should look at this. Like, are you giving money to Walmart? No Kings event nationwide, run by the Walmart heiress and Clinton-funded group Invisible. This is very interesting. The Obamas, part of the Obamas and Soros network. Is Walmart behind this? Christy Walton, billionaire Walmart heiress, financing No Kings protests across the country. They're not protesting on behalf of illegals. This is 100% protesting Trump, partly manufactured. Oh, to hell with Walmart.
And I'm not even surprised that she has affiliations with frickin' George Soros either.
Now more than ever, we are working twice as hard to save you even more with
Let's bat that right out of the park. I'm all for a good boycott. What about you? Because I'm telling you, I have had enough. I have another. I want to share with you something that Senator Kennedy had to say as well.
Fourth night of violence in Los Angeles, the chaos prompting President Trump to deploy more federal troops, and the state of California responding with a lawsuit. Good morning. This is a different look, isn't it, for your morning? I'm John Roberts. Bill and Dana are off today. It's good to be with you.
It's great to be with you on this early morning hour, John.
So we got the blue.
Support that operation until the National Guard is fully deployed.
At the same time, California is suing the Trump administration for sending in the National Guard. The suit calls the deployment unlawful since Governor Gavin Newsom did not request to it or accede to it. President Trump writing on Truth Social moments ago, if I didn't send in the troops to Los Angeles the last 3 nights, that once beautiful and great city would be burning to the ground right now, much like 25,000 houses burned to the ground in L.A. due to an incompetent governor and mayor.
Well, Louisiana Senator John.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we hired this man to do. He is doing his job, and he's doing it well. And in my opinion, everyone who voted for Gavin Newsom and this ridiculous mayor here, shame on you. And I really hope that you rethink the way that you vote the next time.
It makes me feel like our city is actually a test case for what happens when the federal government moves in.
National Guard troops in response to the anti.
Yeah, it's a test case, all right. It's a test case for seeing just how far you all will take things and how much our president is going to allow you to ruin our beautiful cities and our country. Because I'm fairly certain that nobody that's a true American citizen wants this. This is not okay, what they are doing. This is not okay. These are the faces of anti-American people that are in elected official offices. And if ever there was an insurrection, if ever there was people who needed to be arrested and taken out of their high positions, these people are a perfect example of it. And damn right I'm mad about it. Everyone should be mad about it. It's not my state that's on fire. It's not my state that's burning and looting and attacking the police, but it's my country. And I care about my country. And this angers me beyond words. Enough is enough. These people need to have federal prosecution brought against them. Each and every one of them. We hired Trump to clean our country up, get rid of people like them, and make our country great again, safe again, and healthy again. And anyone who stands in the way of that and tries to thwart the President of the United States' job that we hired him to do needs to be federally prosecuted and removed from their post. Effective immediately.
Today we had over 400 to 500 targets we were going after that were known members of gangs in LA that have been victimizing people for years, that Gavin Newsom has done absolutely nothing about, that Mayor Bass has done absolutely nothing about.
So the president is also endorsing.
And do you know why they've done nothing about it? Do you know really what this is all about? Do any of you understand why they let things like that happen? They need those illegal people in our country because they are providing them the #1 commodity, humans. That's right. Do your research. Start looking into things because all of this crap about the borders and all of this crap about these immigrants, these aren't just people trying to come here and have a better life. These are not people trying to come here the right way. And none of us are against people coming here legally and going through the proper measures and steps. I personally know people who are immigrants. I'm related to some of them, but they did it the right way. And they're not here looting and causing fires or kidnapping or smuggling drugs, humans, or weapons. They're not breaking laws. These people are. And they are out to stop your president, my president, because they need that money. That's their biggest commodity. Humans. That's what it's all about. All of this, all roads lead back to Rome, so to speak. It's all about the money. And the biggest money is in trafficking. You think this Diddy trial is something small. You think it's a one-off, or Epstein's a one-off, or Weinstein, whatever his name is, Weinstein's a one-off. They're not one-offs. It's a collective, collaborated, well-organized crime syndicate. And their number one commodity is the flesh. We are at war, ladies and gentlemen. This is a war between good and evil. This is a war between God and the devil. Whose side do you stand on? And how long do you sit back and say nothing? It's time to demand that people step out of the way and let our president and our great leaders that he's appointed to do their job. Enough is enough.
With us this morning, it's wonderful to see you. You might not know this, but Democrats are not thrilled with the latest move. Take a listen to a few of them. I want to get your response.
All of the violence and the escalation is core to the Trump administration's authoritarian playbook. They are being met with tear gas and rubber bullets from this unconstitutional, unlawful administration.
If one wants to fix the immigration laws, which they should be fixed, fix the immigration laws. Don't arrest workers. And what Donald Trump is doing is the fear of America, not the promise of America.
The fear of America. What do you have to say, sir?
Well, number one, I think all those people need to pop a Zoloft and relax a little bit. Number two, I don't think this situation is especially complicated. You don't need to be an astrophysicist to figure it out. We've got a wolf problem in Los Angeles. They're not peaceful protesters, they're wolves. They're hurting people, they're destroying property. So you say, well, where's the governor? Well, the governor is a sheep. He'll tell you, I'm a sheep. He's a sheep in sheep's clothing. He thinks cops are a bigger problem than criminals. So then you say, well, where's the mayor of Los Angeles? Maybe she can stop it. Well, she's a sheep too. More sheep is not going to solve the wolf problem. So the federal government sent in troops. And we're stopping the wolf problem. Last night was a better night, and tonight will be better still. It's not hard to figure out to me, and I think this is what, I think most Americans are looking at this and going, stop the wolves. And a lot of them are thinking, you know, nobody's talking about it, but who's going to pay for all this? You know, who's going to pay for all this destruction? Are we going to get the bill? That's the way I see it.
You know, Senator, it would seem that not all Democrats are in the same boat, the MS outrage. Listen to what Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania said about this. He said, quote, I unapologetically stand for free speech, peaceful demonstrations, and immigration, but this is not that. This is anarchy and true chaos. My party loses the moral high ground when we refuse to condemn setting cars on fire, destroying buildings, and assaulting law enforcement. And now Democrats are calling for demonstrations across the country. It almost looks like they're looking for a repeat of the Summer of Love from 2020.
Well, I think Senator Fetterman has given us some wise advice. We ought to take it. Number two, my Democratic colleagues have a game plan. I don't think it's a very good one, but it's the same game plan we've seen forever. President Trump is a dictator. He's trying to destroy democracy. Now he's trying to take over our cities. And they're trying to convince the American people that that's true. There's just one problem. The American people can see what's going on. It's just like they could see that President Biden had neurodegenerative disease. They can see the riots in Los Angeles. So when the Democrats try to tell them not to believe their lying eyes, nobody believes them. I mean, I think they ought to get a new strategy here. But aside from the politics, Los Angeles is one of the greatest cities in the world. We shouldn't stand by and let the wolves destroy it or devour it.
Sir, I had DHS spokesperson on John's show yesterday. Take a listen. Can you tell us anything about numbers? How many people? What are the crowds like on both sides?
We know last night it was about 6,000 protesters or 6,000 rioters. We're still monitoring the situation today. We have more resources on the ground to ensure that things are peaceful, that American citizens are safe, and that our ICE enforcement officers and the National Guard on the ground are as well safe.
Okay, so if there's 6,000 people roughly at any given time out there on the streets, and we are seeing the level of chaos and destruction and violence that we have been showing on our screen this morning, it doesn't really lend itself to this narrative that most of the folks out there are peaceful.
Well, they're not peaceful. I mean, you can see it. I see what you see. The American people see what we both see. They see wolves acting like wolves. And they see sheep, like Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass, telling the wolves, please stop it, please stop it. Well, the wolves aren't going to stop. And you see the American taxpayer and the good people of California, they're going, the wolves are taking over. Now, who am I going to call? Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, or a Marine? The good people of Los Angeles are saying, I think I'll take door number 3.
Yeah.
And
well,
it's not complicated.
Yeah, I was just going to say the district attorney for Los Angeles County, Nathan Hochman, who was on Fox and Friends just a little while ago, says he's going to prosecute these folks to the fullest extent of the law. But some of these people we see hurling bricks at officers from overpasses or throwing them at cars as they're passing by. And there are plenty of democratic countries in this world that I can think of where doing something like that, Senator, would get you shot. So there would seem to be a fair degree of restraint being practiced by these officers and these National Guard soldiers.
Well, I don't think we ought to shoot them unless they try to hurt somebody, but I think we ought to put them in jail and give them a long time to think about what they did. And that's the next step. You make a good point, John. You can't just let these folks go. They've got to be prosecuted. And, what you allow is what will continue. Honestly, to me, this is not a complicated situation. It's about law and it's about order. You either support law and order and justice, because without order there is no justice, or you support the wolves. I'm on the side of justice.
as I am. And I'm not going to be as kind as Senator Kennedy in saying that these people shouldn't be punished, maybe more severely, including the political leaders of the state of California and the city of Los Angeles. They haven't just failed their constituents. They haven't just failed the good citizens that live in those areas. They are traitors to America, in my opinion. This is beyond insurrection. This is treason. This is war on our land. The question is, when do we start treating it that way?